think that entrepreneurship is all about the business.
That's not true. Absolutely not true. Once you know yourself, who you are, what do you want, what you already know within yourself, you will definitely be successful. That I guarantee you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Personal Development for Entrepreneurs. This evening, we're going to be talking about a very interesting subject as usual. I'm here with my mentor and good friend, Dr. Venga. And the topic we're going to be talking about is effective communication skills for leaders. Good evening, Dr. Venga.
Good evening, Ikram. Good evening.
So this topic was something that I chose and I thought I wanted to discuss with you, primarily because of this. I've always felt my communication is good. I don't want to blow my trumpet, but my written, I'm able to write well. I'm able to effectively communicate what I want to say. But as a leader, I learned something very profound, which is you need to have the ability to get things done through people, not by yourself. And for that, I believe it is not just how well you speak or your command of the vocabulary that you have, but it involves a lot of thinking, right? You have to ask people the right questions. You need to understand who can do what motivates them, what drives them, how to motivate people, and all these things. In order to understand these things, you need to be able to get people to open up. You need to be able to dive deep into people to understand their drives and stuff like that. And I found that I was weak in this area. And it's a part of communication that doesn't get talked about or discussed. We always talk about how you use the right words, you focus on your intonation, the way you talk, your voice. But what about getting the other person? As a leader, you have people reporting to you, right? What about getting people or driving people or motivating people to get things done? That I think is a powerful tool that every leader needs to have. What do you think, Dr. Venga?
Absolutely, Ikram. You have hit on the nail at the right place. Because communication are just words. And most of the time, one party is talking, the other party is not even listening. And this is part of the problem with our current society throughout the world, Ikram, whether it be the United States or Malaysia. You know and you understand that leaders are not being, well, let's say that people do not believe in their leaders anymore. You can see that already in the European election, the coming US election, and throughout the world. You can see leaders have lost this quality of being honest and sincere.
That's something interesting that you mentioned, honest and sincere communication, right? Most honest and sincere people, Venga, find themselves not being honest and sincere in communication.
That's correct.
Someone can be honest in his work and sincere in his work. He may be honest in not cheating. But when it comes to communicating with people and being open and telling them, calling a spade, it's very hard to be honest and sincere.
Do you know why? They cannot be transparent because they have in their closet, there are so many things, They are shy to share it with other people. You must tell your own story, the way it had happened to you. You must become a storyteller. And when you tell a story, it's not for them enjoyment, entertainment. All the teachers, all the professors, all the lecturers are failing in them. Students have rated the quality of what they get is very below par. Because why? When you try to communicate, you must tell your own story. Not story that's nice to hear, but your own personal experience. So what does that mean? That means that when you are honestly saying something that has happened to you in your life, and what is the like, for instance, you must have guts enough to tell you that if we do not show profitability in this area, in that area, I have to shut down this division in 2 years from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, whatever that period is, unless this turns around. And you must be honest about it. Your body language, the way you talk, everything must come out. When you tell a story, it must be a real story of what happened to you in life. And leaders, they think they can do some dancing, nice little drama. Cannot. People do not feel it. One of the reasons why they rather pay attention to Google, the device they have, than pay attention to what people are talking, because none of what they are saying, 90% of them is not truth. It's not what is happening. They tell a lie. Ikram, social media has completely destroyed media. What they see on television news, they don't trust it. They don't believe it. Do you realize that or not? Yes, isn't it? Now, the thing is this, therefore, number one quality that a leader should have, like you must be absolutely honest and sincere. Without that honesty and sincerity of what you say is what you do, what you say is what you mean, you must become part of the process. Number one. Number two, and very important, it must be communicated one-on-one or two-on-one or three-on-one. You must be present there. Sending an email or WhatsApp, all that nonsense is over. Nobody pays attention to that too. It's got into the area of social media. In fact, social media has reached a stage that whether social media is real or not has dropped to about 10 to 15%. Maximum is 20%. It's not the number of people that tell you the same thing, but is it real? That question has started happening. So being present is extremely important, second one. And the third one is the ability to listen. And when you listen to your people, when they're talking to you, are you there? You must be with them and follow what they're saying, their story. In order to have these three very important facts that is needed in honest, sincere, being present communication, and listening to what they say. In order to have this, you need to have two skills. Number one, the ability to focus on what you want to say to them. Really focus on that, but not something running in your head and at the same time you're talking. Cannot. Focus and your own awareness of what you're saying. The right word must come out from you. You cannot be hoo, ha, and looking at your paper. Cannot. It must come. That's why you never trust somebody who gives a speech, a written speech, because you know that's not true. Someone who's like Trump, you see the fellow Trump. You know he reaches everybody. Everybody, he's the way he's talking, he's appealing and talking to the individual. There's 10,000 people, but everybody feel that he is talking to them. You know that or not, Ikram?
Yes.
No other leader is capable of doing it. Yes.
Right. Right.
That is what is necessary, Ikram. So important. Okay. So I told you the three things already. Honesty, sincere. Second, being present. And third, good listening skill. All these must be developed. And the way you develop it is by yourself paying attention to your level of focus. At the same time, making you are aware and you are there. Awareness on yourself. And people believe you when you tell them the way it is. You have to be transparent. You know, people do not even know the difference between somebody telling a story and somebody being sincere. They do not get the respect from people anymore. That includes even people who report to you. Don't, Ikram, the world is different today. Number one, there are so much of information. Many of these informations are not reliable. You take a simple thing like Wikipedia. Many of the things in the Wikipedia, if 50% is truth, you'll be damn happy already. Because Wikipedia has become an authority, but the authority is being questioned of its reliability. Yes, yes or not? You think about it, okay? So therefore, you have a lot of social media. You go around getting all sorts of, but none of that is true. In fact, as a person running an organization, if you can learn these three skills I told you just now, that will help you a lot, and that will help everybody a lot. Talking to people in a very sincere and honest manner.
I'm just going to share something that you have shared with me.
Yeah.
So when these three things are not there, the sincerity, the honesty and sincerity, the listening, and what was the third one that you mentioned?
Just a minute.
Well, in the lack
the third one, good. The first one is honest and sincere. The second one is being present.
Present, right.
Being present. And the third one is good listening skill.
Absolutely. So in the absence of that, then this starts to happen, right?
Yes, correct. You see, that picture that you put up, very good. You look at the man in red, okay? He's saying something. And what he's saying is translated into some design. And look at the blue man. The blue man, he is receiving the information. It's also line, but a different kind of line. So what happens? But they're talking, they're using words and all that. But the two, what the red person is saying and the blue person absorbing it looks similar, but it's not the same. To put it in a very simple language, one fellow is talking about the duck. The other fellow is talking about the understanding it as chicken and not duck. Can you see the difference of two animals or not? Now, this happens all the time. That's why it is very, very crucial. When you talk to people, you should not drag the meeting for long. I have learned in my whole life, that if you spend 20 minutes talking to somebody, that's more than enough. More than enough. If you can't get through to them in 20 minutes, then nothing can go in. Might as well make another time. So clarity is important, but in that clarity, you must communicate and communicate and communicate. Use all sorts of things available, like even talking one-on-one, having a little showing them a picture like what we are showing now, and they can understand this better. See, in order to get honest and sincere communication, all the words we use is going out as sound, to the other person's head. And from the sound, the person is just absorbing. What he's absorbing, you cannot see. But if you were to put up a picture and say, I'm talking about the duck, then they can pull up from their memory, they can put out the duck. Yeah, you're almost there. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
So this means a skill that need to be developed are number one, the skill, which is focus. It's a fact of life. Today, when I'm talking to you, the phone is ringing, the other things are happening, so many things are going wrong. And that goes into your mind, right? Can you really, really be with yourself for that few minutes when you're talking to somebody, or is something else also bothering you in your head? Now, if that botheration takes place, it is difficult to focus. And when you lose focus, your awareness also goes down. So it's no more just a skill. It is something that you got to spend a hell of a lot of time and effort. And not only that, to be able to see and understand the body language of people there, what they're doing. You cannot take for granted everybody's with you, So the shorter the meeting, the better the result. The smaller the number, better the result. All this have been tested, documented by me for the last 80 years, Ikram.
It's amazing you are mentioning this because I've just started implementing this, reducing the meeting sizes, cutting it down to only relevant people, splitting it into who is relevant and what needs to be done. Yeah, because a lot of time is wasted with people sitting in the meeting when they don't have to be there or they've got no input to provide.
Ikram, I was very surprised that I've noticed this very common, people are observers. I ask myself, what the hell are they doing there? If you're not involved in it, why are you there? And you know what, Ikram? Oh, they will learn. Let them go and do something more useful, They will learn nothing. And when I said like that, I was told, hey, this consultant, no good, He's not willing to teach people. You see, the leaders themselves don't understand that if the crowd is too big, or even 3 people are talking, and you're one observer, in other words, you don't even know what you're doing. So one-on-one, you will notice in your private life and in your business life, one-on-one, you get better result. Yes or not?
Yes.
You did, right?
Yeah.
But all these are reality. And you're right about noise and other things that can also disturb the attention span. So a quieter room, lesser people, and more concentration by having some form of device to show, a flip chart or something, to get that going. This is important. Ikram, everybody that comes to work don't want to lose the job. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Right. They don't want to lose a job, right? So they want to do their best. But the question is, are you getting their best? Because of the way you are expressing to them or telling them, focusing your attention on them, understanding their own problem, their own issues, and getting to know that, being transparent. You know, Ikram, it's like this. Like if I rattle down a quick way, no? Communication is something that must be constantly. What is the word? When you do it over and over and over and over again, relentlessly, no? Relentlessly. Am I right? Yeah,
Yes,
you
you're
know.
right.
Okay, it must be done over and over again. So one-time communication not good enough. Number two, what is expected? Expectation must be set very clearly, and they must understand the expectation. It's not that repeating it enough. They must understand the expectation,
Correct.
and it must be easy for them to understand. Yes or not? And the only way you can deliver that is by your own personal story.
Correct.
Humans like to hear stories, no? What we don't know, Ikram, what we don't know, and nobody can tell you that, but I hear some videos are being made. They are saying that this storytelling is how we wrote our history from before. And the Indians have dug up this up. Ittihas, they call it. Ittihas. As it had happened. Ittihas. Storytelling. And remember, the writing in the Western world started very late. So oral history has been there from the time the human became human, okay? The theory today is plants can talk to plants. Animals can talk to themselves. They are telling stories. In the plant experiment, they have seen that when an elephant is eating up a tree or breaking down a tree, the tree, it will eat very, very, very fast, like as if it want to, you want to finish it quickly. But why? Because the elephant knows that if it keeps too long, the tree will turn and bring out certain things in their leaf, which will be not good for them. And at the same time, it is sending signal to the other plants around. So you'll notice an elephant eats one tree or a little bit of a tree and move and walks for maybe miles away to take for the second plant because the signal has not arrived there yet. So they can communicate. I think they talked about this in the movie called Avatar. I do not know whether you remember that or not. Communication. So humans like to hear stories. That you must tell the story. Now, in order for you to do that, you must therefore be prepared. If you don't prepare any kind of communication to your people, it'll come out wrongly.
Right.
Preparation is one of the key. And you notice, people who are not prepared cannot talk fluently. That true or not? Only if they are prepared, they can talk fluently, right? The next is, the people that you're talking to, do you know them well enough? Who are they? What will they react to? What is not? Everything about them. You must know the people you are talking to. All the people that work, you must know them, everything. Maybe not their personal whatever, but you should know them as a staff. You got to know them. Their children, their marriage, whatever that is. That gives you an insight. So I was at a meeting only Wednesday. One fella came late. On leadership. And in that program for 3 hours, I ran that program with them, doing some workshop and all that. This chap came 30 minutes late. And I can see as he walked in that he's really very stressed. I can see that energy in his face. So I must be careful how I handle it. Yes or not? So that's why you must know the people, the audience very well. Important in communication, right? Now,
Right.
when you know them very well, then it is important. Ikram, not only words, no. What you want to get out of them, your intent must also show in your body language.
Right.
Yes or not?
Right.
Okay. And then when you want that to happen, you better pay attention to your audience, their body movement. They'll send you. You must be there, lah, Ikram. Your mind, everything must be there, lah. They call money what? Mind, body, and soul. Is it? That's what they say, right? All must be there, lah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ikram, you must ask the right question. It cannot be as it comes along. Those questions, as they are talking or what, you must be able to write it down, compose it properly, and ask the right question. Don't make jokes out of it. So when you ask the right question, then they know that you're paying attention. And because you're paying attention, they will listen to you. Then it'll encourage them to listen to you. So whenever they talk back to you, they're feeding you back. You must have that possibility of listening to them. Okay. Once we have agreed, that action must be affirmed. So this is what we agree upon. Okay. Now, when is that going to happen? Action. Okay. And remember that it is always human failure. No? Whatever is tough, we want to keep it to the end.
Correct.
Right or not?
Yeah.
Wrong. No? Whatever is tough is something must come out immediately. You know, if we are not making the graph or the sales numbers or whatever, that must be the first one to address. Right or not?
Yes, you're right.
Otherwise, okay. And once that is happened, you must get people involved already. And Ikram, at your level, your reputation is very important. Your reputation. What you say, what you do must be in line. These are the things that's required for someone to communicate effectively, honestly, sincerely. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. Again, one-on-one, face to face. See, this device that we have, this computer we are doing this on the Zoom and all that, Ikram, it's a fantastic tool. You are several miles away and I'm several miles away. We're talking, right? We have the proper tool. We are present and you can see me, I can see you, right? And nothing is around me, nothing is around you. And therefore, our listening ability becomes even better. So, Ikram, communication is not that easy. It must be something that is done over and over and over and over again until the day we die. No? Or until...
And utilizing those three principles that you just said. Honesty, sincerity, being present, and listening, active listening.
Yes. You know, Ikram, everybody is complaining that people don't pay attention. Okay, you go anywhere, no? Everybody is looking at their little device. They're occupying the mind there. How do you draw attention? when they come to your place, okay, for 20 minutes, don't use this old method now. Opening remark, the middle, and then the final. You come for 20 minutes. You come into the meeting to make a decision. This is not a chit chat. This is not brainstorming. Brainstorming will end up blame storming. You don't want that. So be clear in your mind. A meeting, this is the objective. This is what I want to achieve today in 20 minutes. Okay, you can give them advance notice that they're actually prepared for it, prepared and come into it. And then, okay, in this 20 minutes, these are the one thing I want to achieve. And so it's clear. That's what I can advise people to, to pay attention to this. Don't just take it for granted. You know what, Ikram, even in family, marriage, husband, wife, children, everybody has stopped listening because they don't trust you. You say one thing today, tomorrow you say something else. It's always changing. You're not present yourself. Okay. So what else can I add on to that?
You've covered it very well, Venka. We've got 3 more minutes left, but just to recap again, when you talk effective, when you want to communicate effective as a leader, the first condition is honesty and sincerity.
Yes.
This is, I think, the hardest thing to do because we all try to be honest in everything else, but our communication. But to be honest, I think the shifting has to change. The thought has to change that if you're not being honest and sincere, it's not helping the other party. That's the first. And the second is being present in the moment. This is something, yes, a lot of leaders struggle with, myself included, being there. And being present means you're also coming prepared, right?
Yes.
And then finally, listening, active listening. And in order to be able to listen, you need to be able to ask the right questions.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. And finally, my last word for tonight is like that, Ikram. Poor leaders' communication can cost a lot to the organization.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah.
If you look at what has happened in the United States of America with the current president, the communication that has gone out through all the media, has been such a disaster. It is a real disaster for them. It has also shown the world, hey, they talk a lot. But you know what? Why should I believe them? They can't even, there's something is wrong with their own president. They don't even tell about it. They hide it. If this is what they can hide, what else are you hiding? It's called organizational failure. So, Ikram, as a leader of a company, if things are not going right in your company in terms of anything, you gotta be sincere and honest enough to tell your leaders, those who report to you, hey, this is the real situation. We got to do something. Now, don't tell me I'll go and buckle up and I'll go for a seminar. No, what is our plan of action? And I need to get to that now for this week, what we should do next week. So those are the things that you must do. Otherwise, leaders' communication are taken as, he talk a lot more. You must make it happen. Okay, Ikram.
Thank you very much, Dr. Venga. And to all our listeners out there who are listening to today's episode, if you have any question at all, please post them in the comment section below. And Dr. Venga himself personally answers all the questions. So keep them coming. And we'll see you at our next Personal Development for Entrepreneurs with another interesting topic that will be happening on August 7th. As usual, it's the first Wednesday of the month at 8 p.m. Good night.